What's crackin'? Today we are just going to have a short look at some practical evidence on which classes are better at competing in the Hall of Fame. This video only regards data of the international server 44, which has just been around since the 30th October 2020. For that matter, I have created two datasets. One was recorded on the 12th November 2020 and the other one on the 17th November. As this video doesn't go into late game capabilities of every class, there will be a follow-up video about that topic. Disclaimer: the listed percentages won't be 100% accurate because even thousands of data are not enough to be that precise, so keep a range of around 5% in mind. First, I will show the big rate of every class. Afterwards, I'm going to show how much presence every class has in the top 600 and top 200 ranks regarding the first dataset. To then be able to figure out the best class, we are going to compare the gathered data. In the end, there will be a short segment dedicated to showing how much those results changed after 15 days by involving the second dataset. Let's get cracking. The big rate considers around level 60 to level 90 players because way lower levels wouldn't be representative for the comparison part of the video. This diagram shows that the three most popular classes by far are the Druid, Berserker and Mage. And I suppose that at least two of those three classes definitely will stay that popular for a very long time. This is the presence of each class in the top 600 ranks. In comparison to the previous diagram, we can now see one class clearly dominating the ranks. Almost a third of all top 600 accounts are Berserkers. And let's even go a little bit further. If you add the percentages of the Druid, Scout and the Mage, we have four classes that dominate around 80% of the top 600 ranks. This value should theoretically be 50% as those are 4 out of 8 classes. Sounds insane, because it is. I introduced an efficiency rating system, which regards the big rate from the first statistics, and I divided those percentages by the statistics of the top 600 and top 200 players. For your information, I haven't considered Druid as the fact that this class is still pretty new distorts those results enormously. So don't be surprised that I just skip this class. Let's now go through each class individually. The Berserker clearly is good in PvE, hence why he is able to compete at higher ranks very well. He is a very efficient class as he gains over an additional 50% presence. This value is even higher for top 200 ranks. The Warrior stays pretty much the same. He isn't terrible at PvE or PvP, so it makes sense for him to not change a lot. But with the Battle Mage it is a different story. The Battle Mage is almost non-existent at those ranks, with only 4% of all top 600 accounts being based on that class. And of course, his efficiency is equally bad. This is mostly due to his incompetence in PvE, which makes it almost impossible to compete in the top ranks on a young server. With the Scout it, again, is a different story. He seems to even do just a tiny bit better than the Berserker getting into top 600. But in comparison, the Scout is way less common in the top 200 ranks. Let's get to the Assassin. As you can see on higher ranks, the Assassin is one of the rarest classes. Reason for that might be on one hand that players rather do not play with an assassin when they compete for top ranks, as it is very costly, and on the other hand that he just has a terrible time at the beginning because of his equipment disadvantage. For that matter, those results are very sensible. And now to the Mage. The Mage is pretty much equal to the Warrior in both PvE and PvP, but his efficiency is not that good. Mages might later on have an advantage in the top 600 ranks, as it is filled with Berserkers, and everyone knows that the Berserker is abysmal in PvP against mages. but the mage is just mediocre in every aspect. Similar to a woman who became pregnant from rape, but didn't want to abort the baby and instead gave it up for adoption after its birth, you cannot really call the mage good or bad. This sentence was so incredibly complicated. Leave us up for that. I need to feed my family. Okay, let's jump to, for me personally, the most surprising result. The Demon Hunter is really bad at competing in the top ranks, apparently. I could now say things and pretend that I know the reasons for that, but I'm not certain. I only speculate about 2 theories. So maybe people avoid competing in the Hall of Fame with this class because at the beginning it is more costly than others, or the Demon Hunter is that terrible in PvP combat that his kind can't get into the top 600 ranks, while other classes with lower levels can. 2 theories that definitely would make a small difference. But well, let's just leave this mystery alone. So to get some idea on how those results change after a short period of time, I also made a second dataset. And well, this statistic shows the presence of every class again. But I will immediately make use of the average efficiency rating now, because it makes those statistics easier to compare. I used the same bitrate for the second dataset, because the percentages wouldn't have changed much anymore. As you can see, there's a lot of change within such a short period of time. All of the first 4 classes' efficiency decreased, while classes like the Demon Hunter profited a lot. At this point the server was almost 1 month old, so you could say that this shows early mid-game behavior. It is really interesting to see that development. So now let's rank every class to get a clear overview for both datasets. It is difficult to really know whether there should be more weight on the top 600 or top 200 ranks. So to rank it, I again just use the average efficiency rating of those 2. According to the first dataset, the most efficient class obviously is the Berserker. Then afterwards the Scout, the Warrior, the Mage, the Battle Mage, the Assassin and the Demon Hunter. And for the second dataset it goes as following: Berserker, Scout, Warrior, Mage, Battle Mage, Demon Hunter and Assassin. While all the percentages changed a lot, just 2 classes swapped place. And well, we will soon see how this is going to change in the future. As already mentioned, this ranking exclusively counts for newer servers. Things definitely change later on. For that matter, I am going to release the video about the long-term behavior of every class. Why are you not clicking it? Maybe you are not clicking it because it has not come out yet. Fair play then. So fine, stay here. But here is nothing. Okay, maybe you want to jam out to the outro again, so here you go.